Guys, I know it's been a long time, but I wanted to come at you with a video on my current crypto holdings, my stock holdings, and where my investment thesis is heading. Now, if you want a little bit of a life update at the end of the video, I'll make sure to put that there, but let's just jump right into it. I'm going to give a very high level overview, by the way. I'm not going to be showing you charts and graphs and stuff like that. I'm just going to be one of the talking head videos I do. But it's going to be pretty straightforward. So, crypto, what crypto do I have? I've been in crypto for a long time. I've sold a lot of things. I've bought a lot of things. I probably bought more than I've sold, unfortunately. But most of my crypto today is mainly in ETH. It's mainly in ARB, of course. And it's mainly in now, actually. Not mainly, but I would say I'm starting to build up a position of Solana. I don't have anything else. Chainlink, Bitcoin, other things like that. I don't have much of. I'm not saying I'm not bullish on them. I know a lot of you might have different chains like, I don't know, like Avalanche or ICP. I've seen one of you guys talk about a lot. Mega, maybe even, right? Not that I'm not bullish on any of them. It's just that as time has gone on and crypto has seen such a shift in attention and mind share across across the entire world, actually, I'm kind of realigning my thesis on why I think a coin should have value. To be honest with you, I've not found that answer yet. A lot of people right now are kind of. I also have a little bit of hype, by the way. Not much at all, to be honest, but very little amount. I say that to say that, a lot of people obviously are talking about, revenue back, essentially revenue as a business, back to token holders as kind of like the main value to buy a token. I don't think Hype does that, by the way. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, they're obviously one of the most profitable companies in crypto, and that's why a lot of people are obviously very, very interested in getting exposure to them some way, somehow. But for a lot of people, that's their investment thesis now, and most coins don't do that. So, I'm not saying that's mine. Definitely sounds something that might have a sound grounding as time goes on. But if we're being honest, if that's your investment thesis, then most coins don't fit that at all. But that's mostly what I'm doing with crypto, to be honest. So ever since I got married, and I'll mention at the end, but another big life update. I've been trying to be a little more risk off. So that kind of concludes the crypto stuff. Also, I have tokens that went to zero that I'm still holding that I never sold, right? For stocks, also kind of simple, to be honest with you. I've been using Robinhood mostly. I've actually been DCAing into Sol through Robinhood, funny enough. But I've been DCAing as well into uranium. I don't have a crazy thesis on uranium, but it's like one of those like energy sources that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about, and I think will be valuable at some point as like AI and all like essentially energy consumption worldwide continues to grow. So I've been DCAing into that. I have some. I don't have Hood. I wish I could buy some Hood, but I can't for particular reasons. But I really wish I could buy a Robinhood stock. That's one I would definitely get into. But my thesis and kind of where I'm heading with this, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is I want to buy stocks. I want to get involved into companies and kind of direct my investments towards interplanetary interplanetary companies that essentially will be vital to humans going to different planets and obviously setting up shop there. Obviously, I think Mars and of course SpaceX is the biggest company. Again, then talking about going to Mars or going to different places and actually setting up and extending the human race beyond Earth. It's like the coolest shit I think you can even think about in 2026, right? And a lot of people I think obviously are looking at SpaceX as that value. Of course, the IPO happened the other day, and it's literally one of the biggest companies in the world, like off rip. And the stock is actually going up. I think it's been up like 10 to 15% today on the second day, on its second day live in the stock market. I don't know if that's going to go up a lot. It's very, very expensive, and apparently it's low float, high FDV kind of situation too. So you want to be a little careful with the SpaceX stock, but there are other companies that I'm looking at as well that I'm like trying to figure out if maybe they align with that interplanetary human species thesis. I've been running actually tangentially a Robinhood, like it's called like a Robinhood MCP server. They added like agentic trading to Robinhood recently, and I've kind of plugged Claude into that and have essentially I have an account just with like some cash sitting there that's automatically checking the market, looking at the RSI, looking at different analytics for each stock that I've invested in relation to like stocks that fit that interplanetary thesis, and will buy or sell every day, twice a day if it needs to. I'm gonna make a video on that soon at some point. I just need to get my thoughts together on it. But that thesis to me, like I want to figure out a way to invest into that thesis. If there's anyone actually watching this who has an idea of how to invest into that, let me know. Like, are there any companies, I guess is really what I mean, that you think could relate to that thesis? Let me know. I know Palantir is one of them. I think Viasat was another one. To be honest, I literally just had Claude make me like a group of 10 of them, and NVIDIA obviously, and kind of have me like buy and sell into each one. But that's kind of what I'm doing, to be honest with you guys. I obviously other than that, classic 401k, S&P 500, and like in a different account or two, and I think the idea, obviously I'm like turning 30 this year. The idea that I'm kind of going for is just where I can play with some money on the side. I will with this kind of thesis, a couple $100, nothing more, and then even with the crypto, kind of slowly kind of delevering off of it. I don't know. Everything feels inevitable when you're investing, obviously, especially the beginning of crypto. Man, times were much different. Don't get me wrong. It's like we're finally at the point where crypto really is going to be what I thought it was always going to be, which is the plumbing for all of finance, the plumbing for anything that requires, a ledger with, the capabilities that blockchain provides, fast settlement, immutability, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess what surprised me the most, and I guess when you think about it, it really shouldn't come as that much of a surprise, is there's been very, very little value driven towards like the prices of said assets, because even after all this time, but I don't know, just thoughts. I wanted to come and make a video. It's been a long time. I've been like itching to turn the camera on and talk to you guys again. The big life update, by the way, I wanted to talk to you about, and everything I just mentioned, by the way, I'll have more videos on as time goes on if you guys are interested. The big life update that I was talking about is I had a baby. My wife and I had a baby. So that's why I've been out for the past 2 months, essentially. Otherwise, I literally would have been on here every day posting. As you guys saw, I was like on a roll, and then boom, I just went gone for like 2 months. But no, I'm posting again. And I'm just like, I'm really obviously excited to, it's interesting, right? Like, I think part of where that interplanetary species thesis comes from is like, I want to live in a world, I want to live in a planet that like I can feel happy giving to my child, my son, and saying like the future of humanity lies in your hands, bud. Not really, but it's a weird psychological thing that happens, I guess, when you have a kid. It's just like, obviously everyone's very pessimistic nowadays, and they think, the next 10 years, next 20 years is going to be like terrible, just like maybe our parents thought. It's like, oh, life is going to be so hard growing up for these kids. But I tend to think that a lot of it, depending on where you live, of course, a lot of it is how you perceive things, your outlook on life in general, and I don't know, just like how positive you are, really, and obviously like how you respond to things. I'm really excited, obviously, to be a dad, a father, right? If you guys have any tips, dads, fathers, etc., please leave them down below. I would love to hear from you guys. But like, I love the idea of progress, as any human does, right? Don't get me wrong. I love my planet. I think humans should thrive here and continue to do the things that we can do to make sure the planet is healthy and lasts as long as possible. But man, as a sci-fi buff, I also I've watched a lot of sci-fi horror movies in space as well, so not counting that part. But as a sci-fi buff, man, like the idea of humans going interplanetary, and like one day you're sitting on the couch watching news and it's just like a live broadcast from like human species on Mars, like it's nothing. How sick would that be, bro? Like how insane would that be? I have a lot of thoughts on that stuff. I'm definitely gonna make videos about that as time goes on. But I wanted to come back, make a quick vid for those who care. And yeah, man, I plan on posting a lot, just like I was before. Obviously, I went that 2-month break, of course, because my son was born. But I plan on posting a lot more again. Like I really want to come back to where this channel was previously, just nonstop content. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.